Hi y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Ravenclaw Queen. I need to wash my hair, just ignore that. I got baptized yesterday, so shout out to Lifepointe Church in Fort Mill for baptizing me. I've actually been going there since December. My godparents go there, so then my godmother invited me, and then I just enjoy that church. So I was like, you know what, as an adult, I want to make the decision to dedicate my life to Christ. I have been baptized before at Uni Ezel in Fort Lawn, South Carolina. That's still my home church. I just haven't been going there as much. I just think I'm learning a lot more at Lifepointe. Not saying that I had a bad experience at Uni Ezel. I also just like that it's non-denominational. Uni Ezel is an AME Zion church. I'm originally AME Zion, African Methodist Episcopal Zion, if you're not familiar with those denominations. But yeah, so I just wanted to get baptized, and I did. I have a video on here, actually. It's a short, so you guys can see me getting baptized. So it was really nice. I enjoyed it. I went to brunch after with my family at another Broken Egg Cafe. I didn't actually post anything from that because I didn't really get that much footage. I literally just took a picture of my food. But I go there all the time too, so it is 10 out of 10 all the time though. So I get the shrimp and grits most of the time with a side of bacon. So good. They also have really good cinnamon waffle, like, I forgot what they're called, but yeah. Anyway, this video is another Maniac Monday video. We'll hop right into it. I just wanted to preface by saying, like, my hair looks like this because I got baptized yesterday. I want to show you guys my pants. I wear these pants like all the time, but like I just like them. So they're like funky pants. They kind of flare a little bit at the bottom, but I'm gonna sit down now. But yeah, so I'm just filming at my, like, this is like one of our tables in the kitchen. Today's video for Maniac Monday, we're gonna go more in depth with like our conversation about triggers. In the last video, I talked about my wellness recovery plan and basically what I came up with while I was in the hospital, in my last hospital visit. So this video, I want to discuss 10 tips to help understand your triggers better. Like, basically your triggers are things that cause you to go into a very anxious state, a depressive state, a manic state. Those are your triggers. I already mentioned like what my triggers were in the last video, so I'm not really going to talk about my triggers. I'm just going to talk about like 10 tips that I think you guys need, or whoever is watching, or just to be aware of them. You don't necessarily have to have you don't have to have anxiety or depression to listen to Maniac Monday. You don't have to have mental health issues. Like, this is not just for people who would have anxiety, depression, or bipolar disorder. This is just me wanting to share some valuable information. I literally think everything that I'm talking about, you can do without having any mental health episodes or a mental health past or suicidal thoughts, any of that. Like, all of these things, I think you should be doing regardless. So yeah, so let's just get into it. Number one is listen to your body and exercise. So I think this can be interpreted in different ways. So I'm gonna just say what I mean by this. So when I say listen to your body, I would say know how you feel when you're anxious, know how you are when you're depressed. So if your heart starts racing when you get anxious, or you start sweating, like, know those physical indicators. But then also, I would say make sure you're taking your medication as you're supposed to be taking your medications. If you're not currently on medication, but you feel like maybe there is something going on, going to physical examinations or just meeting with someone who can diagnose you. And then exercising, that kind of varies on person to person, but I would say when you're having mental health issues, taking care of your physical body is always going to help. Like, when I got out of the hospital, the last time I was in the hospital, me and my mom did E2M, which E2M is called Eager to Motivate. It's a Facebook lifestyle plan. I don't like to say just workout plan because they also include nutrition, but I haven't been doing that lately because it's just, in my opinion, E2M is a little bit more strict than what I would like. Like, I like plans where I feel like I have a little bit more freedom. But it does work though. Like, when I first got out of the hospital, I lost like 20 pounds. I was about 212 pounds when I left the hospital. By the time I got to so I left the hospital in October of 2022. By like January of 2023, I weighed like 190-ish or less than 190. So yeah. Okay, so I had to restart it because my storage thing, I need more storage. I'm gonna get a camera hopefully within the next 2 months. So yeah. But I was talking about exercising, and I would just say what works for you is good. So if you walk a lot at your job, like I just recently have been working at Topgolf for the past month or so, and I've already lost weight, about 10 pounds in like 5-ish weeks, just from walking a lot, going up and down stairs, like carrying food trays and drink trays. So if that is what works for you, then great. If you don't get physical activity at your job, I would say try to start with like 2 to 3 days of just going to the gym if you can afford a gym, or do like home exercises, which E2M is great for home workouts. That's literally what it is. They have a Facebook Live program. I think for the 8-week program, that's how it's set up as an 8-week program. So I want to say my mom paid for me about $320 for the 8 weeks. So it's like $40 a week, something like that. If that's something you can afford, then I would say do that, or just look up exercises and do it like whatever you like to do at home. Like right now I'm paying $10 a month for Planet Fitness, but with me losing weight just from working at Topgolf, and I just got a new job, I'm not gonna say much about that yet, but because technically I haven't started yet. I don't start until May, but I would just say figure out what works for you. I probably will cancel my Planet Fitness though, just because I am losing weight working at Topgolf, and I haven't been to Planet Fitness since I started at Topgolf. So I don't know. I do want to try Solid Core. That's kind of like off topic, but Solid Core is like a more intense Pilates workout apparently. So I want to just see what that's about. It is a little bit more expensive. Well, not a little. It's a lot more expensive. Like I think you would pay like over $100 a month for like 8 classes a month. So that's 2 classes a week. I want to say when I did Orange Theory some years ago, it was like $109 a month. So it's about the same as Orange Theory, but Orange Theory is set up like they have like a treadmill, a row machine, and then like a free weight area. So it's not a reformer. Like you're not doing Pilates in Orange Theory. But yeah, so whatever workout or physical activity that you like to do, like do that. And most of the time, like I will say, if I'm having an issue or I just feel like I need to clear my mind, working out does help. Okay, my second tip would be to keep a journal. So I have a daily journal, and then I have a budget planner journal that I like break down all my expenses, and then like my monthly finance goals, and then I write what I actually spent by the end of the month in each like category. I might do a video on that as a financial tip video, so that'll be separate. But for this journal, this is just like a daily like diary type of journal. I would say just writing down everything that you feel like is important that's happened in your life is good, and then you can like reflect on it. Like say you want to look back at a certain day. If you have a journal entry from around that time, then you can see like, okay, where has my mind come from since that time? So yeah, I feel like reflecting on your experiences is always really good, because you'll be able to analyze yourself and be like, oh, okay, like I was dealing with this a few months ago, but now it's like I finally have moved past it, you know? And I would say with a daily journal, you don't necessarily have to do it every day. I would say I write in my journal every other day or every like 2 days or so. It just depends, because I'm sometimes more busy with my work schedule. So yeah. My third tip would be to try a therapist or a psychiatrist if you don't already have that. I feel like when it comes to listening to your body, and just learning about triggers, they're really good at helping you identify those triggers and like explaining how your body works. My first therapist I ever had, she really talked heavy about the science behind anxiety. So she taught me about the fight or flight responses and all that. You might not be into that though, so you can, like, your therapist or psychiatrist, they can just be people that you lean on to help you understand yourself, but it doesn't have to be all like technical, I guess. I would just say this is where the part about like you not having to have like a mental illness comes in, really, because a lot of people think like therapy is for more serious things, but like your parents could have had a divorce when you were a kid, and now you're still struggling with relationships, and you're wondering, why do I struggle to have a successful relationship, or like even just like friends? Like why do I struggle to make friends or keep friends? You could go to therapy and talk about that. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I had a mental health episode and I was in the hospital for 30 days, like me. It doesn't have to be all that. Like, it could just be like, maybe you lost your job and you don't really know how to deal with that. Maybe you need to talk to someone about that, or maybe you do need to start medicine because you're having depression because you lost your job, or someone in your family passed away, like, unfortunately. Like, maybe that's something that you think you should talk to someone about. So yeah, like keeping a journal, listening to your body, having a therapist, I think those are all very normal things that any adult or child can do. Number 4, stay organized. Like, I don't want to rant too much about that, but like, I really hope people don't look at Maniac Monday as a video they can just skip because they don't have mental health issues. That's not what I want this to be. Like, I want people to listen to what I'm saying and perceive it as like information that anyone could benefit from. So number 4 is stay organized. So I would say this includes your physical environment. So like your room, your apartment, your house, keep that clean. I feel like anytime I'm in like a dirty space, now I will say my room has been dirty, like messy, not dirty as in like food everywhere, but just like clothes everywhere. My bed is never made. I've been living like that for like a year now. Not that it's funny. I've never been organized, like in terms of like keeping my room clean. So if it works for you to have your stuff everywhere, then that's fine. But I'm more so talking about like your little, like if you have an office in your apartment or your house, wherever, keep that organized because you want to be able to work in like an organized space. I literally only use my room to lay down or sleep. So for me, my room having a bunch of clothes in my bed or like suitcases that haven't been fully unpacked on the floor, that doesn't bother me because I'm literally only going to my room to sleep. So yeah. A part of organization, I would also say, I mentioned I have a budget planner. I would say keep another separate journal, like just to write things down in. So like I would keep a budget planner, or like just make your own budget online. Like if you want to create like an Excel sheet, I used to do that, but now I just write it in the journal that I have. And then if you have like to-do lists you like to do, like some people like to write a list and then check it off. If that's something you like to do, then do that as well to stay organized, and stay on task, whatever you have to do. Then off of that, number 5, I would say write down everything. Like I know people have like, you know, they like to use Google Drive. Like I use Google Drive for everything, but certain things I have to write down and keep like a physical copy. So for me, my goals, like I have a planner, a yearly planner that I use. And this is why I said I'm gonna do a separate video, because like I have a lot of different like notebooks. So I think like it's just, it works for me. But if keeping everything on your computer is better, then do that as well. But I just think when it comes down to my goals, like I made a vision board and I wrote my goals down like on paper. Well, my vision board I made online and then I printed it. But you could do that. You could type everything up and then just print it and put it on your wall or something. Like that's kind of like what I like to do if I don't want to write it, because my handwriting is like atrocious. But yeah, I would just say like keep a physical copy of whatever your goals are, or like your budget. If you want to write stuff down, that's just like not necessarily stuff you want to put in your journal, or if you're trying to figure something out, like planning a trip or something, but you don't want to put that in your journal, like your daily journal, put it in a separate notebook. Like I do that all the time. Like if I have a trip I'm trying to plan, I'll put it in a separate notebook, or I'll type it up. So if you want to look at this as write and type everything, then go ahead. But I suggest writing certain things. So like when it comes to money, I like to write it down. But when it comes to, because I have a calculator too, like I'll use my separate calculator for things. Like I don't need the Excel to like calculate everything for me. But yeah. So then number 6, I would say identify your coping mechanisms. I'm reading from my laptop if I didn't say it already. I just wanted to write it down like I just said, because I'm going to forget these if I don't. So identify your coping mechanisms, and coping mechanisms are literally just things that help you cope with your illness, or just cope when you're having like a harder time with something. So like the word cope just means helping you deal with whatever you're trying to deal with. So I've already mentioned like literally 1 through 5 are coping mechanisms. So like journaling, going to therapy, taking your medicine, like those are things that help you cope with everything. But I would also say like your coping mechanisms could just be like your hobbies. So like if you like to read, I love to read. If you like to write like poetry or like creative writing, if you like to watch YouTube videos, I love watching YouTube videos. If you like to watch TV or movies, like if you like to play Sims, I do that sometimes. I haven't done that in a while though. I've been so busy. I haven't played Sims in a long time. I bet my people are like, where is she at? Or if you like to go walk in the park, anything that makes you feel good and makes you happy and makes you calm, those are things that can help you cope. Okay, number 7, talk to your loved ones. So I'm not gonna tell you like how often I think you should talk to your friends, or how I think you should talk to your friends, because everybody's different. I have a group chat with my high school friends, and then I have other friends from like college or just like throughout my life that I've made, and I kind of text those people. Like some of them I text every day. Like one of my college friends, we talk every day. But then other friends, I just text them randomly, or I'll call them randomly, or an event will be happening and I'll be like, hey, like, do you want to go to this? Or I just think of them and then I just text them or call them. So, or they call me. But I think it's good to just stay in communication with people that you love, and they can also help you identify some of your triggers, or just how you are when you're anxious or depressed or having some type of episode. Like they can tell you like, you did this or you did that, because sometimes your judgment or your memory isn't good when you're in those states. Okay, number 8. I would say connect with other people who have the same diagnoses as you, or diagnosis. If it's just one, I guess. I never know how to say it plural. But so if you feel comfortable talking to a stranger or an associate that you may not know as well, but you know that they're actively talking about mental illness, or they're talking about like, I don't know, I've seen other people on Facebook post about having mental health challenges. I haven't actually reached out to the people that I'm talking about, but I have connected with people from like, I knew from like my past, like in high school, who have watched my YouTube videos and commented on my YouTube videos, or they've messaged me about my YouTube videos. So there's some people that I am connecting with who tell me like, oh wow, we had a similar story, or we had a similar diagnosis. Like, so I have been meeting people. And I think it's good to talk to other people, because you can learn from their experiences, and then maybe you can learn how they cope, and like maybe that will help influence how you change your coping mechanisms, because sometimes what you did 5 years ago or even a year ago to help cope with an illness isn't gonna work now. Like, this is gonna sound bad, but when I was like really depressed when I first left law school, I think I started drinking more, or I started like smoking more, or taking edibles or something. Like, I wouldn't say I was addicted to drugs or like alcohol, but I would just say I was doing that more. And some people see drug abuse as like ways that people cope with like things going on in their life, not just mental health illness, but just like things in general. And that's not, in my opinion, or I feel like a doctor would say this too, coping by drinking alcohol or smoking weed is not going to help you in the long run. So I would just say talk to other people, and like maybe that can help you understand what you're doing that's good and what you're doing that may not be so good for yourself. Because some people get very wrapped up in certain like mechanisms, like they become obsessed with them. Like I kind of had to stop myself with like the budget planners and stuff and the planners, because I have so many like notebooks and planners, and it's like, Alexis, okay, just calm down. You only really need a daily journal, a budget planner, and a yearly planner, and then a notebook to write random on the side type things. But beyond that, like I went and bought me a wellness journal, and that thing, I got it from a Pop Shelf. If you guys have heard of Pop Shelf, there's one in Pineville. It was cute. Like it had like pages in it where you could talk about like the 5 senses. So like you'd have to like write down, what do you hear right now? What do you see right now? Da, da, da. And it was cute to help you like be mindful for a moment. But like I didn't need to spend my $5 on that. Like I just have to stop myself and be like, okay, Alexis, like, do you really need this? Or even just like, I do need to get another daily journal, but do I need to spend $30 on it when I could get a cute little journal for $10 off Amazon? So yeah, it's certain things I think we do become obsessed with, and we need to just analyze like, okay, is this actually going to help me, or is it actually worth what I'm paying to do this? Like if you're coping, one of your coping mechanisms is going out to eat at a fancy dinner to just like relax and like feel luxurious. Like that's cute. But should you do that every week? Should you do that every weekend? Should you do that every 2 weeks? Like, and I say fancy as in you're spending like over $100 on one like meal or sitting, whatever. Which I did go out to eat to Crave with one of my friends from college, and I spent $103. That was with the tip though. It wasn't before the tip and the tax, all that. That was what I spent total. Am I gonna do that every week? No. So I don't know. I just think you have to really look at what you're doing and analyze like not just how it makes you feel, but like financially, how is that impacting you? Like if your coping mechanism is going to the strip club and you spend $500 in one night at the strip club, is that really a coping mechanism? So yeah, that's just my little spiel on that. And then number 9 is seek accommodations at work or school. So I know that I have a wide variety of audiences. So I said work or school because some of you guys are still in college maybe. So for an example at work, if you work in an office and there's like a bunch of coworkers around you or whatever, excuse me. Like for my job that I just got, they have like a training room where you just sit and you can do work on your computer and like study for like, I work in finances, so there's different licenses we have to get. But then there's also a cubicle area. So there's like people that have like different offices, but they're all like kind of connected by the cubicle, but they're separated by like the cubicle wall thing. And I went in there on Friday for like my last interview, and I got hired after that. But they were doing headshots for all of the people that started this year, like the new people. They do it every quarter. So like they just ended their first quarter. Anyway, they said that the Asheville office also was in there. So it was like a bunch of people. And not saying it's always going to be like that, but let's just say, for example, you do work in an office where it's a bunch of people all the time. I would just start asking your manager or supervisor if you could do a hybrid schedule. Like let's say you go in the office 3 times a week and you work at home 2 times a week. Like that may help you with your anxiety of having to be around so many people. For a school example, this happened at Furman a lot, so this is why I picked this example, which I would assume every college has accommodations, so yeah. But if you have high test anxiety, ask for more testing time. So I know people who did that. They like, let's say the exam, they would like you to finish it within a class time frame. So like say your class, I think our classes were set up either 50 minutes or an hour and 20 or an hour 30 minutes, I think. I can't really remember right now. But yeah, let's just say you only had an hour though, but you feel like you needed an extra 30 minutes. You can go submit an accommodations request, and I think they will do that, you know? Of course, it would have to be within reason, but yeah. So then my last tip, so the 10th tip, I would say is pray and seek guidance from whatever your spiritual source is, if that's your prerogative. I know not everyone believes in God or believes in anything beyond what they see in the universe, whatever you want to call it. I personally am a Christian, so when I do feel like I've done everything on this list, but there still seems like there's nothing that is really helping me or succeeding what I need, I would just say I pray to God, I go to church, and I really take time with God and try to figure out, okay, I ask God, what are my next steps, you know? And don't just ask God for things. I would say thank God as well and let God know how grateful you are for the grace and mercy that they have shown you in your life. But yeah, so I will say everything that on this list though has helped me tremendously. Like, I would not be making this video, I would not be saying all of these things if I did not personally experience mental health growth, spiritual growth, financial growth from doing these things. Like, I'll give you one last example and then I'm going to stop talking. So I have a very bad problem with, or not bad, but it's an issue. It's something that has to be solved. So I spend a lot of money on food. And this year I decided I was going to start tracking how much money I spend on everything. So the different categories that I have in my budget planner are broken down by like food, transportation, housing, which I don't have rent or anything, so that I don't really put anything for that. And then I've replaced that with something else. And then I have my phone bill, credit card bill, you know, so forth. But food, I'm gonna just be transparent here. I spent over $1,000 on food in February. I can't tell you how it all added up to that, why it all added up to that. I did go to Philly to see one of my friends in Philly. So that weekend I did get Uber Eats like 2 or 3 times. And then like throughout the month, I probably got more Uber Eats. But yeah, but listen, I noticed how much I was spending on food and I said, you know what, Alexis, you can't keep doing this. You gotta stop. So March, I only spent $656 on food. Now, for a single individual person like me, that still sounds like a lot of money in my opinion, like over $600 on food. But from 1,100 something to 656, I'll take it. So I would just say, you know, being organized and prioritizing your goals. Like, this year has really been about my financial goals, my career goals, like just moving into a better space financially. Like, I finished my master's, so now it's like I can get a better job and I can actually move out, hopefully, and just really feel like an adult and take care of myself. So outside of my mental health and spiritual health, I would say like my finances have been large and like my career goals have been large. But yeah, just being able to see what you're doing with your money, that can really help you cut down on unnecessary spending. But yeah, so that's really all I have for this video today. So the 10 tips, I'll just recap them. Listen to your body and exercise. Keep a journal. Try a therapist and a psychiatrist. Stay organized. Write down everything. Identify your coping mechanisms. Talk to your loved ones. Connect with other people who have similar mental health illnesses or diagnoses or similar experiences. Seek accommodations at work or school, and pray or seek guidance from whatever your spiritual source is. So that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. I would love to hear what you guys do as your coping mechanisms. I'm always trying to, you know, try new things. So I would definitely love to learn what you guys do to cope with anything going on in your life. If you would like to share your story with me, please message me on Facebook or Instagram. You can DM me. My Instagram is Alexis Wood World. So just my name and then the word world. My Facebook is Alexis Wood. But yeah, I love hearing from you guys, especially people that I've known in my life like already, because it's like, wow, you never know, you know, like if people think, oh, it can never happen to me, it could happen to anybody. So, but thank you guys. Bye.